Most people will spend their whole lives chasing get-rich-quick schemes, and almost all of them will fail. They'll jump from meme stocks to crypto moonshots, always looking for a shortcut that just isn't there, and they usually end up with little more than debt and a story about how they almost made it. But there's another group of people out there, a small group that's quietly building fortunes. You'd never spot them in a crowd. They aren't celebrities, they aren't tech founders, and they certainly aren't making seven-figure salaries. They're teachers, accountants, nurses, and electricians. And they've stumbled upon a hidden, repeatable pattern for building wealth that almost no one talks about. It's a pattern built on discipline, not drama, on consistency, not complexity. Today, we're going to break down that 5-part pattern and show you exactly how you can start using it. So before we get into the pattern itself, we have to understand why the common path is so spectacularly wrong. The financial world, especially online, is basically a carnival of distractions. It's an endless stream of headlines promising explosive returns, influencers flexing rented Lamborghinis, and once-in-a-lifetime opportunities that somehow pop up every single week. This is what I call the Great Deception. It's a game designed to prey on our most human instincts, impatience and FOMO. When you see a friend make a pile of money on some speculative stock, your brain doesn't see the insane risk they took. It just sees the win and whispers, "Hey, you're being left behind." That kind of emotional decision-making is poison to building wealth. It pushes you to make impulsive bets, to invest in things you don't really get, and to bail on good strategies at the worst possible time. The hard truth is that these fast paths are almost always traps. They're based on luck or unsustainable hype. They require you to either be a genius or get incredibly lucky, and even then, the gains often vanish as quickly as they appeared. The same hype that creates a bubble is what eventually pops it, and the people chasing that hype are usually the last ones in and the first to get wiped out. The people who build real, lasting wealth know this. They see the get-rich-quick crowd not with envy, but with a kind of sad recognition. They know it's a losing game, so they just choose to play a different one. It's slower, sure, but it's a game where they control the rules and where winning becomes a matter of when, not if. And it all starts with the first part of the pattern. The first thing the quiet wealthy do is take emotion completely out of the equation. They don't rely on willpower to save and invest. They build a system. And that system is simple. They treat investing just like their electricity bill or their mortgage, as a non-negotiable automatic expense. Every single payday, like clockwork, a set amount of money leaves their main account and moves straight into their investments, a 401k, an IRA, a brokerage account. It's not something they think about. It's not something they need to feel motivated to do. It just happens. This is the foundation of their success, a concept called dollar cost averaging. By investing a fixed amount on a regular schedule, no matter if the market is soaring or crashing, they unlock two incredibly powerful advantages. First, it forces consistency. We all have days where we don't feel like it, where an unexpected bill strong pops up, or where the urge to just spend the money is strong. Motivation is flaky. Systems are reliable. By automating, they guarantee that they're always making progress, one boring brick at a time. Second, it turns market volatility, the very thing that scares most people, into an advantage. When the market is down, their automatic investment buys more shares for the same amount of money. When the market is up, it buys fewer shares. Over decades, this smooths out their average purchase price and completely removes the stress of trying to time the market. They know that time in the market is infinitely more powerful than timing the market. Now you might be thinking, that's nice, but I don't make enough to automate anything meaningful. This is one of the biggest myths holding people back. The power of this habit is not in the dollar amount, it's in the consistency. Starting with just 5% of your income or even $50 a month builds the habit. You're training yourself to pay yourself first. As your income grows, you can bump up the percentage, but the system is already running. Delaying just because the amount feels small is a huge mistake that costs you your most valuable asset, time. The second pattern is one of the most misunderstood. When you hear the word frugal, You probably picture someone reusing tea bags and living a life of sad, miserable deprivation. That's not being frugal, that's just being cheap. The quiet millionaires practice something totally different: strategic frugality. Here's the difference. Being cheap is about spending as little as possible on everything. Strategic frugality is about ruthlessly cutting costs on the things you couldn't care less about, so you can afford to spend generously on the things you actually love. It's about recognizing that every dollar you spend is a dollar that can't be invested to work for you. This is why you might see a quiet millionaire driving a 10-year-old Toyota, but they won't blink at spending $5,000 on a professional course or a business coach. They ignore flashy status symbols for invisible upgrades, things like their health, education, and skills that boost their long-term earning potential. One of the biggest ways they apply this is by fighting lifestyle inflation. Imagine two people both get a $10,000 a year raise. Person A immediately upgrades their life. They get a bigger apartment, a nicer car, and start eating at fancier restaurants. Their spending simply rises to meet their new income, and they're no closer to being financially free. Person B, the slow wealth builder, does the opposite. They basically pretend the raise never happened. Same apartment, same car, same lifestyle. That extra $10,000 a year, it goes straight into their investments. After just 10 years, assuming a modest 8% return, Person B has over $150,000 more in their portfolio than they would have otherwise. Person A has nothing but a slightly more comfortable cage. This one decision, repeated over and over, is how ordinary people become extraordinarily wealthy. They trade a little gratification today for total freedom tomorrow. By the way, if this idea of building real, sustainable wealth resonates with you, take a second to subscribe to the channel. We're all about long-term thinking here, not chasing fads. It's a good community to be a part of. This next one is a huge mental shift, and it will change how you look at money forever. For most of us, wealth is just a number, a net worth figure we can compare to others. But for the quiet wealthy, dollars are almost beside the point. They measure wealth in the only currency that really matters: time. Their portfolio isn't a scorecard, it's a runway. It represents the number of years they could live their current life without ever having to work again. This reframes every single decision. $1 million portfolio isn't just $1 million. Using the standard 4% withdrawal rule, it's $40,000 of passive income every year for the rest of your life. It's a freedom machine. Once you start thinking this way, your spending habits change overnight. That $1,200 new phone isn't just a phone anymore. If your goal is to live on $50,000 a year, that phone just cost you nearly a week of your freedom. That $50,000 luxury car isn't just a car. You've traded an entire year of your life, a year you can never get back, for a depreciating piece of metal. Is it worth it? This calculation forces you to see the real cost of things. Money is no longer just money, it's a tangible store of your life energy. Every dollar you save and invest is another moment of freedom you're buying for your future self. It stops being about deprivation and becomes the ultimate form of empowerment. You are literally buying back your own life. It makes it so much easier to say no to random, frivolous spending. It's not about willpower anymore. When you see a purchase not in terms of its price tag, but in terms of the hours, weeks, or even years of your life it will cost you, the choice is simple. You start valuing your future freedom way more than any fleeting comfort or status symbol. You stop asking, how much does it cost? And you start asking, how much life will it cost me? Here's a secret the financial media will never tell you because it doesn't generate clicks. Building wealth is supposed to be boring. In fact, if you feel excited about your investments, you're probably doing it wrong. The fourth pattern of the quiet wealthy is that their investment portfolio is stunningly, almost painfully simple. You won't find them day trading or trying to find the next 10x stock. They're not dumping half their net worth into a single hot tech company because of a hunch. Their strategy is the complete opposite of exciting. They buy broad, diversified, low-cost index funds and ETFs that track the entire market like an S&P 500 fund. And then they do the hardest part, nothing. For decades, they don't try to beat the market. They just aim to be the market. They understand that over the long term, the stock market is a powerful engine for wealth, historically returning around 10% annually. Their goal isn't to be clever, it's to simply capture that return and let compounding do all the heavy lifting. This is the playbook of legendary investors: buy the whole haystack instead of trying to find the needle. This approach works because it defeats the two biggest enemies of every investor: fees and ego. Actively managed funds and frequent trading have high fees that will devour your returns over time. And the ego-driven need to outsmart everyone else leads to classic mistakes: buying high out of greed and selling low out of panic. The boring portfolio sidesteps all of that. It's a humble strategy. It's an admission that you don't know more than the entire market, and you don't need to. Your job isn't to be a stock-picking genius. Your job is to save consistently, invest in a diversified and low-cost way, and then just be patient for a very, very long time. It feels like watching paint dry, but this dull, methodical process is what builds unbreakable wealth. This final pattern ties it all together. The quiet wealthy aren't just good at managing money, they're masters of managing their own focus. They have an almost uncanny ability to say no. And I don't just mean saying no to a new car. It's a deeper philosophy. They say no to the 24/7 stream of financial news designed to make you panic. They say no to the hot stock tip from their brother-in-law. They say no to business opportunities that don't align with their main goals. They say no to the social pressure to look rich. Why is this so important? Because compounding doesn't just apply to money, it applies to focus. Every time you dilute your attention or your capital on some new, unproven idea, you reset your compounding clock. Wealth is built by finding a few simple, powerful habits and executing them relentlessly for decades. For the slow wealth builder, those habits are: earn more, save more, and consistently invest in their boring portfolio. They ignore 95% of everything else to pour all their energy into that simple loop. One of the most important things they say no to is high-interest debt. They see credit card debt and personal loans not just as an expense, but as a five-alarm fire. It's compounding in reverse, a force that actively works against your goal of freedom. They attack it with a vengeance and then avoid it like the plague. While other people use debt to buy liabilities that make them look rich, the quiet wealthy avoid debt to build the assets that actually make them free. So that's the pattern. It's not a secret formula locked in a Swiss bank vault. It's just a series of simple behaviors. They automate their investing so it's non-negotiable. They're strategically frugal, cutting back hard on what doesn't matter to spend on what does. They measure their wealth in years of freedom, not dollars. Their portfolios are powerfully and intentionally boring. And they are masters of saying no to the distractions that derail everyone else. Notice that none of this requires a six-figure salary. None of it requires you to get lucky on a hot stock. It just requires discipline and patience. Building wealth this way isn't really about being slow. It's about being inevitable. It's about building a financial fortress, brick by methodical brick, that can withstand any storm. While everyone else is building fragile towers on sand, you're laying a deep foundation on solid rock. The world will always try to sell you the dream of speed. The market will tempt you. Your friends and neighbors will pressure you. But the people who actually win this game, the quiet millionaires living with real freedom, they aren't doing any of that. They just show up and stick to the plan. The pattern isn't hidden because it's complicated. It's hidden in plain sight because it's simple, and our culture has trained us to dismiss simple in favor of spectacular. My advice? Stop looking for the spectacular. Start building the inevitable. If you're ready to stop chasing shortcuts and start playing the long game with us, make sure you subscribe for more videos on building real sustainable wealth. And now I have a question for you. Which one of these 5 patterns are you going to start working on this week? Let me know down in the comments. And if you found value today, I highly recommend watching my next video. I appreciate your support more than you know. Until next time, stay consistent, stay patient, and stay winning. See you in the next one, Money Magician.